So I was to present a reading readiness lesson plan. So I chose to do a story and an activity with the children. So what I decided is I would read this book. It's called The Sandwich Book. And the first thing I would do would be to point out the author and the illustrator, because that's a very important part of them first learning to read, understanding who creates the book, where the parts of the book come from. So like I said, this book is called The Sandwich Swap. So I don't have time to read the whole thing, but I'll go through the main points so you can understand it. So it says, Selma and Lily were best friends at school. They did everything together, they hang out together, they did their schoolwork together, and they ate lunch together. Here's them in the lunchroom. And something to point out would be to ask the children, does everybody look the same? What kinds of different foods do you see? Do they look happy? What's going on in the picture? So the problem was what they ate for lunch. They ate different foods. Selma had a hummus and pita sandwich, and Lily had peanut butter and jelly. And both girls secretly thought that their friend's sandwich looked icky, and they didn't want to taste it. They thought it looked gross. And so one day Lily just couldn't go back anymore, and she told Selma that your sandwich looks gross. But it really hurt Selma's feelings because she remembered how hard her dad works every day to make that sandwich, and how proud she is that she gets to eat that food with her family. And Lily also gets upset because her dad makes that food for her, and she's very proud of eating that food. So they have a fight. And again, pointing out the emotions. Do they look happy? Do they look angry? What's happening in these pictures? And so the whole school gets involved, and they start fighting about their different foods and about their differences until pretty soon they're not even fighting about food. They're calling each other names. You dressed dumb. You look stupid. And so actually insulting each other, not even just the food, and it turns into a big food fight. And you can see that Selma and Lily are very embarrassed that this is what they caused, and there's chaos everywhere, and you can see the principal is not happy. And the girls are very ashamed, and so the next day, Lily offers Selma some of her peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and Selma decides to try it, and they decide to try it together, and they find that actually they like them and they're delicious, and that they shouldn't have been afraid to try that food, and they want to get the whole school involved, so they have a big cultural banquet of every different kind of food that the school has. You can see the different flags and the different foods. And you can ask the children, are the children happy now? Is it still chaotic? Are they still fighting? What's going on? And so after I finished the book, I would check for comprehension, why did Selma and Lily have a fight? How did they resolve that fight? How did they get the whole school involved? And maybe even, have you had a fight with a friend? How did you resolve that? And so the activity that we would do is we would actually make and taste both sandwiches. And each child would write their name, whether yes or no they liked the sandwich. And again, writing their name, recognizing the letters, understanding that letters represent sounds, and put together they create stories like in the book, or names as on here, getting them ready to read their own books and understanding that pictures tell stories, but also words form sentences and tell stories as well as they start to read on their own, not just with their teachers. And so we would interpret the graph, figure out, did we like the sandwich? Did we think it looked yucky, but did we maybe like it anyway? Discuss how even if a culture or different food looks scary, you want to try it because it builds respect for all of your friends, helps you make new friends, and that cultural differences are a good thing, and we shouldn't be afraid to try.